Hello everybody, my name is eRose, and today we're checking out a brand new add-on that just released on the Minecraft Marketplace. And this is Advanced Machines. We're back in the Industrial Revolution, baby! This add-on is made by Wonder Studios and currently costs 1,170 Minecoins. And hey, thanks to the developers at Wonder Studios for gifting me this add-on early so that I can make this video early for you guys and have it ready for release day. This is a really big add-on. It has a ton of things going for it, like a quarry system. Look at it go. It's actually pretty slow, but it is mining up this area slowly but surely. It's even got an auto farmer. It has an auto fisher, conveyor belts, and much more. So let's go ahead and get into it. When you first log into your new or pre-existing world with this add-on, you'll be given the brand new guidebook. And this guidebook is really good. I enjoy it quite a bit. It has a lot of information going on. It has pictures. It also has pictures of the different recipes to how to actually build the different items, which I love. I'm very much a visual learner. So when I say that, I'm like, yes, thank you so much. And it explains a little bit how, like, the examples for the power, you'll need a cable and then you connect it to the machines. So very much appreciative. Also, in addition to this guidebook, there's also a website, a wiki, that will give you so much information about this add-on. And I'll go ahead and link the wiki down in the description below so you can see it yourself. It gives you a little tutorial of how to get started and information about the different machines and the different resources that you can get. I also really love the lore text that they use for a lot of the different items and machines. It tells you what they're used for, lots of information on everything, which I definitely appreciate. You don't have to remember so much, and having that right there on the actual item can, help you learn and show you what you need to do. And let's get started making some advanced machines. So the first thing that we're going to get to is making the steel foundry, and this will help us to make the new resource item called steel that we need to use to craft some other machines and stuff. There's actually many different types of resources. There are fuel buckets, there's oil, there's a circuit board, there's plastic. This is the steel that we're going to start making, and there's also bronze. So that is very nice. So in order to make this, we're going to need some iron, a blast furnace, and some redstone. So let's go ahead and craft up our steel foundry right here, right now. There we go. Turns coal and iron into steel. And this requires power to actually run, which we'll get into how to do that. So in order to get power into our machines, we're going to need cables. In order to make cables, we're going to need dried kelp and copper. So let's go ahead and make one of those. And when you make these cables, it'll make you 16 of them at a time. So that's pretty useful for your Industrial Revolution needs. After we make our cable, we're going to want to make some power. So to make some power, there's a couple different ways, but we're going to start off with the solar power. We're going to be clean energy up in here. So you're going to need blue stained glass, some iron, and one of the cables that we just made. So let's go ahead and craft up some solar power up in here. There we go, beautiful. Production is based on the time of day. Produces power, WW. So yes, you get power during the time of day when the sun is out, of course, because it is solar power, and that is what you're going to use. So in order to get steel to make the new transport pipes, we're going to have to actually make, the brand new items. So we're going to need iron and coal in order to actually make the steel. So let's go ahead and make some of that now. So we're going to place down our steel foundry, and we see where we place it. Right here where it's green, that is where your power is going into. So this will actually be the front of your machine. So be careful where you place it and how you want it to be placed. So if you place it here, it'll switch it around. So now the power is on this side. So whatever you want to do, it will be beneficial for you to realize which way you're facing things. But with our power cable, we can actually attach it to this machine right here, and we can do all different sorts of designs. There's so many different ways that people can do to make things creative and to fit into whatever build that you're doing. I'm actually really excited to see people's machines in factories and how they kind of plan it out. But this is the solar panel, so as you see, we need to place it making sure that it's facing. So you want to place it like that so it connects where that green bar is right there, that is where you're going to connect the cables into. And I would say you don't need to do this wacky design like this, but I was just showing you that it could work in many different ways. So we're going to get started by manually putting in some coal and iron, which isn't the, most productive way, but since we're just getting started, we're going to insert our coal one at a time. But don't worry, this is not the way that we suggest to do things. It just shows us kind of how to get started. So we're going to insert some of the iron as well, so we have some, and we can also see information in here, how much coal is in here, how much iron, how much wonder watts we're getting, and how many steels are actually produced. So let's go ahead and insert some more of this stuff so we can start producing some more stuff and things. We're making steel, baby, and as you can see, we got some 3 steel in here already. So that is pretty good, and it's stored right inside of this item for now, but we will learn ways to get the items, to have them being taken out with the different machines and pipes in the future. But yeah, now we have the information. We got 8 coal in here, we got 8 iron in here, we got 40 wonder watts, and we have 6 steel. So if we want to remove our steel manually, we can click remove steel and it will pop right out of this machine right here. And now we have some steel that we can use to make some brand new items, and we can also use the steel to kind of upgrade this and make it more efficient. So let's go ahead and come back over here where we're learning about the transport item pipes. So in order to make this, you're going to need your brand new item, the steel, and some glass. So let's go ahead and craft up one of these, and when you make one of them, it'll make you 8 of these item pipes, which is a good deal in my opinion. So this is how we're going to do that. The steel, the glass pane. Oh, did I have... Oh no, they are glass panes. Glass panes right there. And we can make 8 of these pipes. Perfect. So this will transfer items into your different machines and from chests, depending on if you make an item pipe filter or an item pipe emptier. So the filter and the emptier are very, very similar, but one of them moves items from pipes into containers, and the other one moves items from containers into pipes. So both are very useful. You're going to need both of them. So you need hopper, we're going to need the brand new steel that we just made, some more of these item pipes, and some redstone. So let's go ahead and craft up one of these. There we go. Item pipe. And then we're also going to make one of these ones. So instead of a hopper, we are going to use a dispenser. So pretty similar, they do pretty similar stuff, but both are very much needed and useful. So now we have each of these, and now we can go ahead and start upgrading our steel foundry right away so that we can start getting items and get this up running like a factory. We're also going to need some chests in order to do this, so we're just going to borrow the chests, from over here. Don't mind if I do. We're just going to borrow these. Don't worry. You can get it back maybe one day. Probably not, but we have 2 chests now. So I'm also going to fix up this because this is kind of a silly little layout, but I just wanted to show you that the power could work in many different ways. So let's go ahead and put back our solar panel like so. And remember, you can't face this way. You gotta face the way that you want to actually connect it to the pipes. And then you see there's arrows right here and like a little square. That means that we can have item pipes connected into it. And there's one on this side and one over here. So we're going to go ahead and put down some pipes. And once again, you can do many different variations of how you want these pipes to actually go. So you can make some really cool buildings and machine situations. And then let's see, we have these. So this one will move it from containers into the pipe. So this will take the items out and put it into the machine. So you're going to want to place down your chest right here. And then you can place down your item pipe filter, and it will connect together. And it also has this arrow here too, which is really useful. So it shows you the direction that materials are moving. They'll come from this chest, go into here, and then go through these pipes, and then go into the machine. And then over here, we're going to set up item pipe emptier. So let's put our chest right there, And then we'll put this down right here, and it connects automatically into this, so items that get made in this machine will be taken out and put over here in this chest. So let's go ahead and see how it works. We're going to put some of our coal and some of our iron in here, and we should see, yeah, items are moving. So I will say one thing, which is probably just a limitation with how Bedrock Minecraft is that the items that you see in the transport pipes are always like little packages. All of them look the same no matter what you're doing so far, which is probably just a limitation with Bedrock Minecraft because, you know, there's a lot of different limitations that we have. So you won't see the actual like iron and coal go through the pipes, but it's just a visual thing. But I do like how it shows you that things are moving through the pipes. But it's probably just, you know, Bedrock Minecraft things, and it works very well. Also, we can see when it turned on, like, there's a little glowiness in the middle of that. And if it was nighttime, the solar panel would stop working, and it would no longer be working with this machine. And let's check in here. We already got 13 pieces of steel. Our steel foundry is doing the work. So that is very nice. We got the power set up. We have the input chest, and we have the output chest. So a very nice machine situation started. And I do want to mention with these specific pipes, the pipe filler, which I've been saying filter, but it's the filler, I guess because there's filters for them. And the emptier, you can set different items, you can blacklist them or waitlist them. Different items that you want to set through here in case you want to do some really funky things. If you have like a mega transport pipe and you can set different items to go in different places, which is a lot of fun. So that is really cool. I'm glad that they have that in here. Next up, we're going to learn about the different energy sources that we can use. So of course we have the solar panel, which we already used over there, but we can also use wind turbines, which are pretty easy to make. You just need iron and one of these power cables and some iron bars. So let's go ahead and make one of these, and they look really, really cool when you place them down. So let's make our wind turbine. There we go. So it looks like a little block, but it will not be a block forever because it turns into this. It looks really cool. So you have to make sure that you have enough room around to place this, but once you place it, there we go. Look at that. And also it depends like where you place the item, which way it's going to be facing. But yeah, really, really cool. You can put down a bunch of these out in like a field and get some wind power situation. You can connect up the different power cables to the back where the green is to move into your different machines to power them up. I will say that only one of these wind turbines are not as powerful as the solar panel, so you're gonna need like a bunch of these to get wind power, but it's a nice option to have. Another option we have is the heat generator, and this turns lava into power, so if you want something like that, these ones can also be made. We need to use fluid pipes for these. We use cables, furnace, and some iron, and you can craft up a heat generator. There's also different batteries that you can make. So the starter battery right here, battery MK1, is right here. You'll make that with iron, amethyst, copper, gold, and some power cables, and you can make a battery. And you can also make an upgraded battery with steel, some of the first types of batteries, and some cables like so. And these can be used to power up many things that you can transport around, like these armor, these jetpacks. You can power your jetpacks with some batteries. You can also use your jetpacks for these different drills right here. And these drills have different ranges, different diameters, and different speeds depending on which drill you're actually using. So that is pretty cool. And in order to use this, so let's get, I actually have a battery charger right over here, which we'll learn about in a little bit. But this is the charging station. And inside here, I have it connected to some solar panels like so. And it's been charging up some batteries. So I already have batteries in here, so I'm going to collect my charge batteries. And now I got 32 of each, and all of them are charged up, which is really nice. So that means we can use our jetpacks and our different items in our actual inventory. So let's just get one of these mega ones to see how long it'll last. And we can put on these jetpacks. So this one requires fly to jump, and there's this one too. The two ones. So let's do the first one first. And oh, we're flying. And then we'll slowly fall down. And you can see it is using up some of the energy. We started with a full 2,000, but we started using this. And there we go. We can fall with some style. And we used up some more. And let's put on this one. This jetpack is the second version. So this one, yeah, you can see is a lot faster. So this will be a lot easier to use. Also, here's an update on our quarry situation that's been going on this whole time. But yeah, our quarry is slowly working, slowly but surely. Let's see what it's picked up. For now, it's got a bunch of dirt and a cobble and a little bit of coal, but it is still like right at the surface. So hopefully we'll reach some diamonds and stuff. We'll see. We'll check on that later on in the video. But yeah, jetpack's really cool. You can fly around in survival. You can also use this. So this is how much energy we use. We can use this drill. So this is the diamond ones. They have different variations. And if we use this over here and right click, it'll start drilling out the blocks around me. And there you see, we can make a nice big area with our drill using drill power. There's also like so many different things that you can make. So this is the ultra suit. So this is like end game stuff right here. Like this, you're gonna need the nether star to craft up the chest plate, as well as some steel and power cables. You'll need some circuit boards, things like that. But I'll show you kind of what it does. So definitely end game stuff. It's gonna take a lot of work to get to this point so that it actually works, but you can turn into a super ultra suit. Oh, there we go. So the helmet is giving us water breathing and night vision. The chest plate is giving us haste and strength 2. The boots are giving us feather falling, or slow falling, excuse me. And the pants are giving us speed 2. So you can put on this super cool suit and you get lots of really fun abilities. So definitely, you know, pretty OP stuff, but it does take a while to actually make in survival, and you don't have to use it if you don't want to. But yeah, pretty cool suit. I really like the look of it. I think it makes you look awesome, and I definitely love the different abilities. It'll make things a lot of fun when you're playing around. But yeah, definitely endgame stuff right there, but really, really cool. And let's go ahead and talk about some more stuff. So there's so many different things with this add-on. I'm not going to be able to go in depth with every single thing as much as I want to. At least not in one video, since there is so many stuff. But let's talk about the lamps. So there's a bunch of different lamps that you can make in many different colors. Like so, industrial lamps. And in order to use these, you're going to have to power them. So this is the wind turbine. And it's powering these two. So this one's blinking and this one's on. So I think you can only really power one thing fully with the wind turbine. And if you try to power more than that, like it's really weak. So you get like half power with this one. I think that's why it's blinking like so. But now it's not blinking. Interesting. So maybe it charged out more power. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Maybe you can attach more, because I was trying to attach a bunch of them. We can attach that to that. We can share power maybe. You guys will have to play around with it to see, but I know this solar power right here, this one solar panel is powering up all of these ones up to this point, and then I needed to use another one to power up these. But yeah, really cool different lights that you can use to decorate your build. All these are turned on right now, but let's take it off of this. And this is what it looks like when it's turned off for these different colors specifically. So pretty cool. These ones are still powered on because they're on a new system. But let's turn it back on by connecting it back up, and there it is. Nice and colorful again. You can also make some really cool fountains if you want to have some water effects going on. So we have this large fountain right here that you need to connect with fluid pipes and put into a water pump, and the water pump needs to be powered. So kind of like this going on here. And then we got the jet fountain right there. And then we have the little small fountain. So very, very cute. Also, we have the red alarm, which doesn't make any noise. I was thinking that there was going to be a really loud noise, but there's not. But it does have a cool visual effect. So you can use this in your different factories and bases that you make. I think it looks really, really cool. And let's do a little update on our quarry. Let's see how far we've progressed in this short amount of time. We are slowly but surely working, making a nice big area. And here is the progress update on the inventory situation. Oh, broke my legs. You can also make really cool things like this right here, which I know a lot of people have been wishing for Bedrock Minecraft for a long time. So this is an auto fisher. If you craft up an auto fisher and put it in here, you need to connect it up with some power. And you can put some of these item pipes connecting into it and put it into a chest, and it will auto fish around water, which is really, really cool. And oh my gosh, right now it's already full up. It's full up of all of the things, so you're definitely gonna have to have many chests and pipes for this because it's really full. I guess that's why the items are going back and forth, because there's nowhere for them to go. So I'm interested to see if I take out a bunch of this. What are we gonna get? A bunch of fish. We got name tags. Bones. So you get all the different fishes that you're able to get, and also the treasure pieces as well, like the name tags and the enchanted fishing rods and saddles and the nautilus shells, which are really, really cool. And I know people have been wanting this for Bedrock Minecraft for so long, and we can finally have auto fisheries up in here. Really, really nice. There's also some other things like auto animal spawners. So if you have this connected to power, it will slowly produce animals, and you can set it to random, or you can set it to cow, sheep, or pig. So if we set it to random, we might get, yeah, we got another cow, but maybe we'll get another different type of animal as well. But yeah, pretty cool. You can make this, and then you can set it up with some conveyor belts and different things like that if you want to transport these animals around. Like, there's truly so many different things that people are going to be able to do. And then over here is the mob spawner. So this one you can set to create zombies, skeletons, or spiders, and it will slowly produce them over time. And since there's not a cover or anything on that, it made a spider, and it's obviously like dying. But you can set one of these up and have conveyor belts to kind of like take the items that the mobs drop and take them to a different location. Oh my gosh, he's gonna kill me. I don't want to die, I want to stay alive. There's also a bunch of different like decorations and different blocks that you can make. So these are the steel blocks of steel. You can turn into a block. There's also a bronze block, and there's different factory blocks. I really like the color of blue on this. It's very nice. So we got factory walls, we got factory bricks, and then we have smooth factory bricks. We also have different iron fences that we can make. We can make different grates that look really cool. You can put it over top of water and different like liquids. It looks awesome. We have poles. We got beams that we can use. I really like this here, the smoking vents. And they actually like produce like a little smoke effect that I think looks really, really cool. I put two like right next to each other so you can have smoke on both sides. But yeah, I use it over here as well. It looks really cool. Nice decoration piece for your factories. There's also the steel variations for the fences and the different catwalks and the different beams and poles as well. There's warning signs, and there's also the yellow warning chevrons too, which look really, really nice. And then over here we have an auto farmer. So this one you plant different crops, and then you can have the auto farmer in the middle of it, and it'll harvest up the different wheat that I have here. You do need to power it up. And then I have transport pipes going into here. And then here's a bunch of the wheat and seeds that it's been picking up over time as I've had this over here. So you do need to plant them originally for it to work. But once you plant it and then you have this set up, it'll auto plant. It'll replant everything, like auto plant it and pick up the extra seeds and the extra whatever you're creating in there, which is really, really nice. Next up, we're going to learn how to make some bronze. So we're going to need to make a bronze foundry, which is going to turn iron and copper into the new bronze blocks. And you can use those to make a variety of different bronze tools, the drill, and the big block that kind of looks like this one right here, and for some other recipes. So in order to get started, you're going to need some steel, a blast furnace, and a cable to go ahead and make one of these. So let's go ahead and craft up one right here. Right now, bronze foundry turns gold and copper into bronze, and you will need to power these up as well. But this is what it looks like right here. I have this one set up. We have the item pipes. We have the pipe filler on this side. And over here we have the pipe emptier. And we have some power right here. We're using the solar power. So if we were to put in some gold and copper into this chest, it'll move it into the bronze foundry and it make us some bronze bars. So let's go ahead, pop some in right here right now, and we should start to see an item go in. This power's on, even though it's already on, but like it activates when an item is in there. And then we see a package going into this chest right here. So that is very, very cool. And it also shows you the amount of items that are inside, the amount of Wonder Watts, and the bronze, if there's any bronze inside, but they're immediately being taken out and put into this chest. But yeah, very, very nice. And next we're going to learn about the plastic machine. This one turns oil into plastic. So oil is another resource that we have in this world, and we can use oil in these fluid tanks. Also water, lava, and fuel as well can go in here, and these are the fuel pipes that we can make that look really cool. So in order to find oil in your new or pre-existing world, you're going to have to search for it out in the wild. So let's hop into creative for a second so we can see if we can find some naturally spawning oil. Actually, let's look at the quarry too. Quarry update haul. Let's go. Here's a quarry update, but very nice. It's using up some of the fuel that we put in here, and oh, looks like the water's out too. That might be a problem. Let's put some more water in here and some fuel. There we go. Put in some of these. There we go. Fill you up. I guess they didn't need multiples, but you know what? It's always good to have. Let's put some more fuel in here to power you up. In order to find oil in your new or pre-existing world, you're going to have to look for spill lilies. And these will spawn in your world. And they grows above oily stone deposits and also slowly turn stone into oily stone. So let's search for some of these spill lilies so we can find some oil. And we should see them, not in like this direct area, but if we go off here into the wild, keep your eyes peeled, and we might be able to find some. That's coal. So they kind of look like little wither plants on the ground, and then on the water they kind of look like these over here. Like little lily pads. There they are. Interesting. So I wonder, so here's one on the ground. I didn't place these ones. These ones just like started naturally. So let's go back into survival. I'm interested, do we need like shears to get these if we wanted to make more? Looks like you can break them with your hand. What about these ones? Okay, yeah, you can break them with your hand. So if you wanted to make more oil, you can place these here and then it'll turn any iron, or not any iron, but any stone around it in like a certain area into oil deposits. I'm thinking that's how that works. So you kind of collect these if you find them in your world, and you can move them around to where you want them. So you could put them on top of the water, or can you? Oh, maybe you can't put them on the water. So you cannot put them back on the water once you break them, but you can put them on ground. Interesting. Maybe there's a way to put them on the water. You guys will have to let me know. But since we're here, we should be able to, if we start digging, yeah, there's some stone under here. There's some oily stones. So this is exactly what we're looking for. So these spill lilies turn the stone around it into oily stone. And now we can harvest it up and turn it into oil. And we can use the oil and turn the oil into fuel. And in order to get this oil, we're going to need a pump. And there's actually 3 different pumps. We've already kind of seen like the water pump that we use for the fountains to move the water into the fountains to make the fountains nice and pretty. And then there's also the lava pump that we'll use to collect up lava that you can use for the heat engine. And if you want to move lava around, and then the oil pump. So you'll need some bronze, fluid pipes, an iron pickaxe, and power cable in order to make this. You're also gonna need a fluid tank to collect up your oil like so, and we'll need fluid pipes. This is how you make them, just with glass panes like so. So let's try to make one. So if I take this oil pump, oh, we'll also need energy too. So we'll put that there. And then power goes in here. And then we can put it up. I don't know how safe it is being in like the water. I know like electricity and water are like a big no-no, but you know, I guess it's Minecraft. It's okay. So if we had this, we can move this out here and connect it to site a power source. So let's get a solar panel up in here. Or we could use like a wind or like the heat engine. But we're gonna do it like this and place that, and it'll connect up this right there. There we go. So now it should power. Oh, is it taking oil already? Hey, it's making oil! It found up oil! Okay, so we're gonna need to move the oil. So we're gonna need to use the fluid pipe to move that. There we go. Oh, there's already oil inside of it. Look at it, it turned gray. Cool. And then you can have that. And we need to put down the fluid tank like here. And then it contains water, lava, oil, or fuel. And then we can start filling it up. That's cool. So I'm wondering, can we pick up the fluid tanks then? Once they're full? And we can see the oil is getting picked up. And the stone is becoming clean. Because it's sucking out all the oil that it can find. But I'm curious to see, if I pick this up, is it just going to break? Or is it going to store the oil in it? Let's see. Alright, so the oil gets removed. So if you did want to move the oil around, you can pick it up in buckets. So that is a good way to transport. So then we can pick it up. It takes out 3 units at a time. And we can transport this. There we go. And so much oil. Oh my gosh, we're getting so much of it. So that is pretty cool. And it looks like it's still being able to like suck up some. So there must be a bunch of stone down here that is oily stone from these plants. And since the plants are still there, they should still be turning stone into oily stone as well. But yeah, pretty interesting. So yeah, just use buckets to transport your fluids around. It'll be nice. It'd be nice. It's very useful. Bucket power. Can I place down the oil? No. You cannot place down the oil from the bucket. But now we can turn this bucket of oil into fuel and plastic, because oil can turn into plastic. So this is a plastic machine. We're going to need steel, a furnace, fluid pipes, and cables to make this. So let's go ahead and craft up one of these right now. We do have them already placed, but just so you guys can see the recipe a little bit better, here is the plastic machine. And it's this one right here. So I have it hooked up to fluid pipes. There's a tank right here. There's item pipes and a chest. And there's also a power source. So let's put some of our oil in here. Oh, and automatically it's taken out. Nice. And we're going to start making up some plastic and fill this up. So it's going to take you a lot of oil to make plastic and different fuel. So let's see. Alright, how many plastic bars have we made? Whoa, a lot. Oh, I had some in here from before. Let's take it out. Let's see how much 3 buckets get, plus a little bit extra. So we'll put those in there, and there's already some in there, but we can kind of see the process of how it goes. So it does take some time, so you're going to need to have these set up. You can have multiple ones set up. But yeah, really, really cool. And you start making plastic. You can make so many plastic for different items. Use plastic for different things. And then over here, this is kind of how you make the charging station that we used earlier for the batteries. So this is the recipe for that. You're gonna need a circuit board. And in order to make a circuit board, you're gonna have to, let's see, make the circuit board machine. So you're gonna need plastic in order to do that, also some redstone. So since we already made plastic, all we need now is some redstone. So let's get some redstone. Like so, there we go. And now we should be able to make the circuit board machine, and then we can just hook it up to the solar panel that we're already using over here. So crafts gold and plastic into circuit boards. So we can set up the cable over here. Except it's going to be a little bit awkward the way we have it set up. We don't have this set up like efficiently at all, but I just want to show you guys. So there's the power, and then you're going to have to put gold and plastic in here, and then you can set up different pipes as well to transport the items and then to put them in like the chests and stuff. But if we were just to put it in manually, you can put some plastic in here like so. And then I wonder, do we have some gold over here still from our testing to make bronze? No, but we can use this one. We can use you to make a circuit board, hopefully. I wonder if it's a 1-to-1 ratio. We'll insert you. And then we need more gold. It takes more than 1 gold. Oh no, there is a circuit board. It takes, okay, so you can make 4 with 1 piece of gold. So you can remove that if you want to do it manually, or you can hook up all the pipes and stuff. But yeah, there we have some circuit boards. Nice. Now we're going to learn how to make an oil refinery so that we can turn our oil buckets not just into plastic, but we can turn it into fuel. So we'll need fluid tanks, fluid pipes, cables, and some iron to make that. Let's go. You'll also need to have a power source and 2 fluid tanks to kind of connect them together. So I made one right here. So you put down the oil refinery, and then on one side you can put in this oil, and then it goes in here, and that turns the oil into fuel, which can go out on this side. So you can use the fuel for different fuel purposes. But yeah, very, very cool. You could probably set up like multiple fluid tanks into like this pipe as well to turn into here. Like, there's a lot of fun things that you can do with this and make it into different like shapes and designs and stuff. And then I'm assuming in order to get this out, yeah, we can use the bucket, and that's how we can get our fuel, by picking it out in the bucket. And then you cannot put the fluid on the floor like water. And this add-on also has conveyor belts, which are really cool, that you can use to transport different items and different mobs and creatures. So we'll go over that briefly. There's like so much going on with this add-on. I'm probably missing some stuff, but I just want to give you guys a little overview, and maybe we'll do some more videos. But we can make some conveyor belts, and I want to show you guys, I have some spawn eggs that we can use. So that chicken is straight up chilling. We can move the pig, more chicken, the cow, the villagers. They do get off of it. It's not like 100% they'll always stay on it. They do get off of the conveyor belt sometimes. You can also have items going around with it too. But yeah, you can see the animals are getting off of it. So you have to have like multiple conveyor belts maybe next to each other. And the way you place them is the way the arrow kind of goes. So it would be this way. There we go. You can kind of like connect them like that. But yeah, a lot of fun things. You'd also have it go up too. If you like place it on blocks, you can have it go up a block like so. So you can make some fun designs with it. You can also have this item right here. You can make the conveyor belt funnel, and you can move items into different machines. So if we were to put over here, so the steel foundry turns coal and iron into steel. So if we were to take some coal and iron, do we have any? Maybe over somewhere. Over here, do we have some? Yeah, we got some coal and iron right here. And if we were to just like throw some of it on this conveyor belt, it should get transported over there. We can see it kind of starting to move. And then, yeah, and it's going into this machine, even though there's a pig right there, it doesn't care. But it's going in here. So this machine is powered with the solar panel right here. And then this is the steel foundry. And then it's going to put out the items over here. So yeah, very cool. You can make so many, like, really fun things with this. Look at it go! It's so fun to watch it go. Yeah, the items seem to do it pretty well. The mobs, though, do get, like, somehow get off, I guess because they're moving on their own. And they're just like, yeah, no, I don't want to be on a conveyor belt forever. But yeah, pretty cool. It's really fun to see the items kind of like slide around and go through the machines and be created into other items. But yeah, this add-on is really, really fun. I think if you like machines and you want to make like a factory and do some fun stuff with conveyor belts and have an auto farms and auto fisheries, and you can have wind over there. I kind of tried to make like some funky stuff over here. I was just playing around. This isn't like efficient, but I was just showing like you can make some fun, crazy designs with the different pipes, and you got the different grates and stuff, and you can have different areas that look really cool, like a nice funky factory or something like that. Be really nice. But yeah, this add-on's really cool. I definitely enjoyed it, and I definitely see it being useful for people that want to build factory and have machines and stuff. The things were pretty easy to use. I love how it has the lore tag on all of the different machines. It tells you what it does in case you forget. Turns oil into fuel, requires oil and power to use. I love how there is the wiki, the website, and the book is really nice too, and kind of explaining and showing you how to use this different stuff, because it is kind of confusing if you're not used to it. Definitely for sure. But yeah, lots of fun. Lots of fun with this add-on. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section below. And I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, I'll have some other videos on the screen right now in case you're in the mood for watching some more. But thank you guys so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in another video. Bye!